Hello and welcome. Today I'm joined by Dr. Marlin McKay. Dr. McKay qualified as a medical doctor in 1991 from Wits University. Dr. McKay has been in private practice since 1993. His special interests include HIV and AIDS, obesity, respiratory medicine, and health and wellness. Dr. McKay is a senior pastor at his church and is happily married with 2 children. Welcome, Dr. McKay.
Thank you very much for having me.
Dr. McKay, meningococcal meningitis is not spoken about often enough in South Africa. What are the facts about meningococcal meningitis that you'd like everyone to know?
I think that's a very good point. It's important that we raise more awareness around meningococcal meningitis. It's a very serious condition. And just because it may not be that common or as common as some of the other infectious illnesses does not mean it's less important or less serious. The main issue around meningitis in terms of facts is that it is a real condition and can have catastrophic consequences for patients and for families if it's not diagnosed timeously and if it's not treated in time. And some of these are central nervous disorders. Patients can be left paralyzed. Patients can be left deaf. Patients can be left with serious neurological consequences because it's not diagnosed. And the problem with these, especially in terms of doctors, because you are not seeing it often, the diagnosis can be missed. And the period of time from missing the diagnosis up until the serious complications occur can be very, very brief. It can be a matter of hours. So it's important that we get the message out there. It's real, it's common, get the right treatment. And of course, the main fact for me that's so important is that at the end of the day, it is a preventable disease because of the vaccines that are available for meningitis.
All right. Now let's talk about parents or caregivers and the role that they play in getting their children vaccinated.
I think the important point around that is the issue of timing. You know, vaccines are designed to work, to be given at the time that the child is most vulnerable to certain diseases. And if you miss that cutoff time, the amount of protection and immunity may not be conferred to the specific degree. And so if you come to the issue of meningococcal vaccines, it's very important that the vaccine that is available for kids, the dosing schedule is very important. In other words, it is a 2-dose schedule. So these are kids who must be given from the age of 9 months. The vaccine must be given at least 3 months apart. So generally what happens is the child may get the first vaccine, and because that vaccine is done, parents or caregivers may think, well, at least I've done it, it's not necessary. So it's very important that the message is relayed that the child must be brought back after 3 months for the second dose in order to confer maximal protection. So these are some of the things and some of the kids that may slip through and then still be at risk of getting meningococcal meningitis at a later stage. So timing is critical, compliance is critical, relaying the right messages so parents and caregivers understand that 1 dose is not enough and the child must be brought back after 3 months at least.
And what role do healthcare practitioners play in ensuring that the communities get vaccinated?
We as medical doctors and healthcare practitioners, I think we play a critical role in the issue of vaccines and preventative medicine. As I've said, I'm very passionate about this. And I think what's important is that we need to relay the right messages. We need to use every opportunity to give our patients a chance to be immunized against critical illnesses. And so with every consultation, especially in my practice, with every consultation, even it doesn't matter what the patient comes in for, I want to bring up the vaccines. Are your vaccines up to date? With children, I'd like to see the Road to Health card, the clinic chart. Let's see if the vaccines are up to date. Let's see the vaccination schedule. Have they skipped any? Are they delaying any further vaccines for certain reasons? So we play a critical role. We also play a critical role in giving the right, accurate scientific information and making sure that there are no myths around that, making sure that vaccines are not being put off or foregone because of the fear of certain things that are being said around vaccines. So that information is critical.
And what are the myths around meningococcal meningitis and the meningococcal vaccination that you'd like to dispel?
The whole topic of vaccines has become extremely controversial to the detriment of our children and to the detriment of those who absolutely need the vaccines for that protection. And I think the message that we need to give to parents and to caregivers is that, number one, and you can see this is what's going around in social media circles, is that vaccines do not cause autism, for instance. This was a big one with the measles vaccine especially. There is no evidence whatsoever that a vaccine can cause autism, for that matter. There's also no evidence that the vaccine contains toxins, so-called toxins, that may be harmful to our children. These vaccines are thoroughly tested. They've been used over and over, and they would not be released for so-called human consumption if they were found to have any harmful substances in there. Another issue is that parents and caregivers may feel that, oh, it's too much. You know, you're giving so many vaccines on one day. How's my child going to handle it? Our children handle all the bugs every day, and they manage quite well on their own. And what is a small amount of a vaccine that is going to confer protection for your child against certain illnesses? So it's never an overdose or never too much for our children. And I think another one that we need to absolutely dispel is this feeling or the saying that vaccines are going to make my child sick or give me that particular illnesses. There is no way that a vaccine can give you the illness against which it is designed to protect. For instance, it can't cause measles, it can't cause meningitis, and it cannot cause influenza while we're on that topic. There's no ways that you can get sick. There may be side effects. You may feel a painful arm, a bit of a temperature, but the vaccine cannot give you the illness against which it is designed to protect you.
Okay, that's good to know. I think the last myth I'm guilty of believing.
Many are.